For pretty much anyone who sees wakeboarding and then gets into wakeboarding, airtime is what they're after. And the way we get that is with wake jumps. We want to keep it simple, we want to keep it safe, we don't want any falls at all, so we're going to get to those big 2 wake jumps step by step. The first step is the approach. It's all important for no matter what trick you're doing. Whether it's a double flip or it's your first 2 wake jump, the approach is key. The first wake jump you're going to do is on your heel side edge. So in order to do a heel side wake jump, you've got to cut out on your toes. So if you're left foot forward, it's off to the right, and if you're right foot forward, it's off to the left. From the trough of the wake, you're going to give that toe side edge all you've got. We can remember how it's done. It's hips first, hips all the way, hips lead the way, and you keep on pushing till just before the widest point. You don't want to go as wide as you possibly can. You're going to stop just before. To stop, all you're going to do is from that toe side edging position, just bring your hips back to a neutral position, that same position you've already done so many times. That means directly over the top of the board, directly over the top of your feet. Once you're there, you'll find, if you get it right, that you're going to plane on a flat board with the boat. Then, bit by bit, you'll slow down relative to the boat, and the boat will make the turn happen for you, and that's exactly what you want to happen. You want to let the boat do all the work, and all you're going to do is just hold your position. Out you go, flatten off, knees bend a little bit, let the boat take you. For these very initial heel side jump approach practices, all you're going to do is just let that boat take you all the way to and over the wake, and you're going to absorb as you go over the wake. We're just practicing getting out wide, flattening off, and letting the boat take you. Once you've done that a few times and it's looking really, really solid and in control, then you're going to apply a little bit more edge. Once you've let the boat initiate the approach and made a super slow turn, you're going to start to apply a little bit more edge and a little bit more edge the closer you get to the wake. And that's simply done by leaning away over your heels with your whole body, holding that position firm. You're not changing the position, you're just changing the angle. And it doesn't need to be hard, just a little bit more edge and hold it all the way through the wake. And this time, instead of absorbing the wake, you're going to resist with your legs. Your legs will be bent, but they're going to be rigid, and you'll find you'll take off. Of course, once you go up, you've got to come back down, and so the landing is still integral, and to make that landing super smooth, you are going to absorb with both legs, not at the waist. So it's going up like this, landing in the same position that you took off, sinking down, but keeping your chest up, back straight, and continuing that movement off in the same direction. As you go bigger and bigger on these one wake jumps, you'll find that you start to land a little bit closer and closer to the second wake. Now, you don't want to land smack bang on the top of that second wake, and you don't want to be dealing with that second wake too soon after your landing. The way to get around this, make that line super long. You want to make it as long as can be while still keeping the same boat speed and still making sure that that wake is nice and clean for you to get over. Now, this totally depends on the boat that you're behind and the amount of people and weight that you've got in that boat. So just play around with it to find the right line length for your boat and where your ability level is at. Once you've got the line length sorted, so the gap between those 2 wakes is big enough so that you're not going to land on the second wake, you can start to push those one wake jumps even more. The next step would be, after you've got a really solid edge into the wake, a little bit of pop. All you're going to do is extend really gently through your legs and through your whole body at the top of the wake and not before, pushing that handle down as you do it. Make sure when you're out wide, planing, waiting for the boat to turn you, that you bend your knees a little bit then. You don't want to bend your knees during the approach because that will change your edging position and therefore change the edge. Your one wake jumps are massive. You're super confident with them, and the landings are actually getting a little bit harsh because you're landing on the flat. It is time to take that jump all the way over 2 wakes, and this is how you do it. To make it super, super easy, you do the opposite of what you've just done and shorten that line massively. You're going to make it between 45 and 55 foot. Once again, this really depends on the sort of boat you're riding behind, the amount of weight you've got on that boat, and the size of the wake you're dealing with. You've got to play around with it a little bit. But you're aiming for the wakes to be nice and close together so that you can apply the same amount of intensity to your approach without putting any more effort in at all and clear the wakes easily. With a shorter line, you're not going to be able to get as wide, and the delay out wide while you're waiting for the boat to turn you is going to be a little bit less. So you've got to be even more aggressive getting out there to build up that bit more speed, to give yourself more time out wide. And then as the boat turns you, you start to let it happen, you're going to get on your edge a little bit sooner, but no harder than you've done before. Coming into the wake is the same as all the times you've done it before. You're going to hold your position, hold your edge, lock your legs solid. You shouldn't need to pop, once again, depending on the wake you're dealing with. But if you're finding you're not clearing the wakes, you're having a little bit of trouble getting across both of them, then go back to that extension off the top of the wake that you've already done. Once again, it's simply pushing down with the handle, extending up through the legs and the body at the top of the wake, keeping nice and square.